God turns ashes into beauty. Do you believe God can bring beauty out of your brokenness? Think about the struggles you've faced, the losses, the disappointments, and the heartache. It might feel like life's challenges have left nothing but ashes behind. But here's the good news. We serve a God who specializes in turning those ashes into something beautiful. Let's explore how God's transformative power can take your pain and create a masterpiece. 1. God's promise of transformation. Isaiah 61 verse 3 contains a beautiful promise. To bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. This verse speaks directly to those who feel broken, weary, or hopeless. In biblical times, ashes were a symbol of mourning and loss. But God doesn't leave us in the ashes. He exchanges them for beauty. This transformation isn't superficial. God doesn't just cover up the pain. He uses it as the foundation for something meaningful and redemptive. Reflection question. Can you recall a time when something painful in your life eventually led to growth, healing, or a deeper understanding of God's love? 2. God's transformative power in action. Examples from Scripture. Joseph, sold into slavery by his brothers, falsely accused and imprisoned. Yet God used his suffering to place him in a position to save countless lives. Genesis 50 verse 20. Ruth, a widow in a foreign land. She experienced loss and uncertainty. Yet God wove her story into his plan, making her an ancestor of Jesus. Ruth 4 verses 13 to 17. Jesus himself, the ultimate example of beauty from ashes. His suffering and death on the cross seemed like the end, but it became the means of our salvation. Illustration. Imagine an artist working with broken pieces of glass. To the untrained eye, it's just a pile of shattered fragments. But in the hands of the artist, those pieces become a stunning mosaic. That's what God does with the broken pieces of our lives. 3. From pain to purpose. One of the most amazing aspects of God's work is how he gives purpose to our pain. Romans 8 verse 28 reminds us, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." Your struggles are not wasted. God uses them to 1. Refine your character. Trials build perseverance, faith, and maturity. James 1 verses 2 to 4. 2. Encourage others. Your story can be a testimony that helps others find hope and healing. 2 Corinthians 1 verses 3 to 4. 3. Reveal his glory. When God redeems our pain, it becomes a powerful example of his grace and sovereignty. Reflection question. How might God be using your current challenges to shape you or impact others? 4. Trusting God with the process. Transformation doesn't happen overnight. It requires surrender and trust. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46 verse 10. Trusting God means letting go of our need to control the outcome and believing in his timing and plan. It's okay to grieve, to feel the weight of your struggles. But don't stop there. Invite God into your pain and allow him to work in ways you might not yet see. Illustration. Think of a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly. During the cocoon stage, it may seem like nothing is happening, but a miraculous transformation is taking place. In the same way, God is working in the hidden places of your life. 5. Steps to embrace God's redemption. 1. Surrender your ashes. Acknowledge your pain and bring it to God in prayer. Let him take the burden you're carrying. 2. Meditate on his promises. Write down verses like Isaiah 61 verse 3 or Romans 8 verse 28 and keep them where you can see them daily. 3. Surround yourself with community. Share your struggles with trusted friends or a faith community. God often uses others to bring encouragement and support. 4. Look for his hand in your story. Reflect on how God has been faithful in the past and trust that he is working even now. Conclusion. Life is short, but God's ability to redeem is infinite. No matter what you've faced or are currently facing, God has the power to turn your ashes into beauty. He takes the brokenness of our lives and creates something far more beautiful than we could imagine. Let's close with this thought. You may not see the full picture yet, but God does. Trust Him with your story and watch as He weaves every tear, every challenge, and every heartbreak into a masterpiece of His grace. Remember Isaiah 61 verse 3 and hold on to this promise. He will give you a crown of beauty instead of ashes, joy instead of mourning, and praise instead of despair. Step into His redemptive love today and embrace the beauty He is creating in your life.